patience. One amen, feed that giant. Complete bobo, entire with your story. Well, you came to us, to open the light. Now we know you want big darkness.
Fake oppositions.
When black people in the time, one I make and one I let giant. Two of them in a can, one I make must calm down. Really, move. That play you stepping and I'm trying to play, oh. When I'm begging you say, you just gotta calm down. FIFA around, oh. Nothing got calm down. Nothing got calm down. You phone not around. Nothing got calm down. Nothing got calm down.
We will get it once upon sweat, get it once upon sweat. If I get it once upon sweat, get it once upon sweat. They want to not smell it, they other one they can smell it, they other one you can smell it, if I man, oh.
This time around, who we carry, if I talking to, we don't have a plenty talk, that who we carry, if I talking to,
but I got sweet mind full of so skin. Don't fall for them, the minute I so skin. It's a real Partisan. We can see the development they say they will bring. We can see the salary they promise to share. That's so scared. You won't scare, oh. If I not pay school, in this country. If I not pay hospital, in this country. If I not pay road, in this country. If I building bridges, in this country. Tifada Brabi, Tifada Brabi, Tifada Brabi, picking respect your Brabi. Don't want fella coming up, no taking pofo. Talking too long, never no monkey, one pofo.
your pofo, we will call it.
The contract and terrain coming up, monkey shoot pofo.
We will call it.
The goodbye terrain coming up, monkey one pofo.
Your pofo, we will call it.
The rubber terrain coming up, monkey one pofo.
Pofo, we will call it.
Barrow medicine, yeah. We go you, Lion of Africa, yeah. Stay with you.
Anything that you talk, anything you want to do. Bele, you feel us. This time around, who we carry, we better talking to, baby. We don't have a plenty talk, that who we carry, we better talking to, baby. The first time we came with defensive system, you are acting like you the best man. Yoga. But now we coming with attacking system. We treat you just like one contribution. The people that are carrying the fat and a joke. You like it or not, you want to jump in the hole. We know you have a good talk, we know you have a true and show. This time around,
we will get it once upon sweat, get it once upon sweat. If I get it once upon sweat, get it once upon sweat. If I get it once upon sweat, get it once upon sweat.
when black people in the time, one I make and one I let giant. Two about me now can, one I make must calm down. Really, move. That play you stepping and I'm trying to play, oh. When I'm begging you say, you just gotta calm down. If I around, oh. Nothing got calm down. Nothing got calm down. You phone not around. Nothing got calm down. Nothing got calm down. This time around, who we carry? We better talking to, baby. We don't have a plenty talk, that who we carry? We better talking to, baby. It's your banana.
Then c'est bled toi dit, c'est bled toi dit. C'est.
It trains on the beat. Yes, sir. What I meant to come. Yeah. To our make that. I was open.
Can you say you just gotta calm down? If I around, oh. Nothing got calm down. Nothing got calm down. You phone not around. Nothing got calm down. Nothing got calm down.
We will get it once upon sweat, get it once upon sweat. If I get it once happen sway, get it once happen sway. They want to not smell it, the other one they can smell it, get out of when you can smell it, if I man, oh.
This time around, who we carry? If I talking to, we don't have a plenty of talk, that who we carry? If I talking to,
Better get sweet mind full of so scan. Don't fall for them, that minute I so scan. TRC Report, we can see the development they say they will bring. We can see the salary they promise to share. That's so scared. You don't scare, oh. If I not pay school, in this country. If I not pay hospital, in this country. If I not pay road, in this country. If I building bridges, in this country. Tifada Brabi, Tifada Brabi, Tifada Brabi, picking respect your Brabi. Don't want fella coming no more, taking popo. Talking to love, never no monkey, more popo. Your popo, you call it. If contract and terrain coming no more, get you popo. You call it. But good bad terrain coming no more, get one popo. Your popo, you call it. If rubber terrain coming no more, get one popo. Popo, you call it. Barrow medicine, yeah. We were you, Lion of Africa, yeah. Stay with you.
Anything that you talk, anything you want to, well, you feel us. This time around, who we carry?
Augustine Frederick take the stand as the second witness of the day for the defense.
I mean, they care in smart thing because your partner say 1960 will not be president, no one will become president. You're passing around with fake picture, fake news. One poor girl, boyfriend, go about and play. You're saying that they will care you, okay, when they care me no bear, when they care me no bear me your knee. As you are parling over bear me, I'm not money, nobody more in the country are quarrying or Naya business. Once not you are not see me. So please leave me out, we are going here. Now we enjoy in peace. And they care on your business. Your partner saying that this is still not become president. No way for them, no left on this. So they jealous in our government. You are allowing enjoy our government, yeah? Hold that we are going, they care in smart thing because your partner saying that this is still not be president, no one will become president. You're passing around with fake picture, fake news. One poor girl, boyfriend, go about and play. You're saying that they will care you, okay, when they care me no bear. They
want to celebrate because my person wants to me. He has a celebration start. I don't know what I can tell you. I have to celebrate. You know, when we were walking out on the road, people say we were stupid. We found out behind it, stupidness. But, hey, God, thank you for joy. I don't know what to say. I love my word. I love my word. So, when I want person give the opinion, he said, I don't want for my people to live. they cannot wait. And for me to change their life. And when you give them Sunday, it's our foolish horse. Your clothes, your way carry. And I'm telling the people on that people, Cap 2023. Cap 2023 is the best president of our time. He's a more talkable. Acquiring Bible medicine, acquiring silver medicine, acquiring Bible medicine. The reason acquiring Bible medicine, because you're taking me from Bible to a copy. The reason acquiring the one has done a birthday.
CDC must run American days. We are convinced. The line is no match. He wants to go to political when we are here. I check the long days. I'm Mobake Molu, chairman of the Coalition for Democratic Change. On December 8th, one of us will leave his position. I will defeat the law. The law, if I don't defeat you, let me resign as chairman of the CDC on December 8th. I buy by hundreds of thousands of seditions will retire you peacefully. Yes. Amen. You'll be retired. You'll be freed. You will be fair. You will be democratic. You will not survive politically.
You're in surviving forever oxygen.
Yeah. You can't make it. The party is too strong. The law is like an ant under the gigantic boots of sedition. You will be smashed. He can't survive. He's at number 10 to 1. You'll be politically crucified. Because I trust seditions. I know what they can do when they are ready. And they are ready for you. So no violence will deter us. No violence will distract us from the cause, the right cause of election victory. We will get registered to vote. We will campaign when the time comes. And we will beat you strategically. We'll lay your political ballot down. It will be cool on December 8th. I promise you that.
We are ready to go. We are ready to go. We are ready to go.
CDC must run American days. We are convinced. The line is no match. He wants to go to political when we are here. I check the long days. I'm Mobake Molu, chairman of the Coalition for Democratic Change. On December 8th, one of us will leave his position. I will defeat the law. The law, if I don't defeat you, let me resign as chairman of the CDC on December 8th.
Then the court respect the court. The court just winning the respect. What do you want for? This is what you call court. You know somebody here. You also not speak for using somebody. You also not Matthew Zata here become a cook in the building. They can't do nothing. I want it. Okay, you're not getting involved. Not getting involved. Now your coach should know that all the better coach will get involved. You know what you hear for? You must get involved. Just speaker using somebody lead. I want to pay what you need. You want say that boy, police, you train the course, $20,000 US. You need to clarify it. You train the course here. You can want speaker that using somebody lead like then you can't tell any pop chimo. Look at Matthew Zata. Matthew was Zata when you involved with the execution of door. Every course Matthew Zata well at door course. Every course you well at door course you Matthew Zata. I will
You and your take regarding the press conference being held.
We have just announced a date beginning the 24th of this month. And let me say this again. I am going to go from county to county. So we have just started. This muster, this standard bearer need to comply with the Liberian people. We are not asking him to do that. We are demanding him to do that. And we will do that. I can assure you people, next, you know, my pickup are involving to I said, but next week I'll be getting brand new pickup. We will be buying rest. We will sleep to our protest place. And if he's taking the thing for joke, he better go play football in Guinea.
When you say muster, we refer to as muster.
I'm talking about the standard bearer of the CDC. The standard of CDC, the standard bearer of CDC ambassador. We are your master, your dictator, and we are telling him that this protest will be the protest that will speak for the Liberian people.
So, what do you want to see out of this?
I'm referring to the standard bearer. I'm saying the standard bearer of this country is a master.
This is True FM. I'm in the presence of criminal lawyer, Councillor Arthur Johnson. Councillor Johnson, want to say welcome to this special interview.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay. The president has come up with another new message, and you, as a criminal lawyers and as a citizen of the country, you are seen to be embarrassed by his new music. What do you make of it?
Yes, Toby. My concern is this. This is the fourth song that our president is making. It is not about questioning his talent to sing. It is about the situation and the timing. It is just like this, Toby. You leave home, you go back home, you left your home hungry, the children are hungry, and I go back as a father, I beat the children all lying hungry, and I start to sing and dance.
My friend, bro, how you doing?
AB, I'm doing great, man. I'm so grateful. Yeah. Today, April 20, Ramadan 19. So we are getting there. So I'm grateful for that. But you know, it sounds so funny and interesting. Mobile Moro have attempted 2 times. He can't even win in his own district, but he will beat the wrong. Oh God! You know, seditions are so energetic and motivated, and they are very good at singing political songs anytime, anywhere. You know, I really enjoy that part of them. You know, they can't give up. And these guys are very.
And then the men can see defeat coming. The men can see defeat coming. The men can see defeat coming. Then they be saying that that they will win. The men can see defeat coming clearly. Then they say, I will say. Nobody can tell. You know, I will say.
But you know, AB, I think they copy it from Subo. Even when the police people going on campus, even when the police people going on campus, supers are literally running away. They still making their. There's a universal Liberian campus. It's a country on their own. Especially doing Samuel Kayando time, Chancellor time. Oh my God! You know, Sidisha, I love them for that. But the only funny thing, like. When I went to Liberia 2018, my people, man, it ended with me, that thought, strong thought, the dance, that we sing. But my brother, at the end of the day, to get out of that compound, to get out of the CDC headquarters, to go home, man, that is the beginning of begging. Man, all the things you're telling, you ain't get father to go home. Why you can't ask your government people then that you give power to? I said, don't go to CDC headquarters with car. But before you even slow down to get out of your car, they already come to open your door for you. As long as you go there, you are government minister. Whether you get private citizen, you get one to see somebody.
The men can honor you.
Yeah, the men can honor you. They don't really care who you want to go see. By the time you enter that ground, it means that you are government official.
You enter in a car, you enter in a fence with Vigo, that means that you are the liberator. You are one of their. But let us dive into the issue this morning. I mean, we are here to discuss sensitive issues. I saw that the guys that went to the Temple of Justice this morning, the one that in demonstrating for their colleagues to be released, and I don't know. For some reason, Liberia have just turned to a place, and I continue to say that when I come here. Liberia had turned to a serious place instead of a country. That is the reason why, for some of us, we are doing what we're doing because we strongly believe that one day the country will be liberated. But let me flag you. What do you have to say about our topic this morning?
Folks, first and foremost, let me announce the time again, just so we are on the same page. Our time has changed, or we have changed it based on your feedback, from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. Central Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and 12 p.m. Liberian Time. So not just for the Ramadan, but even after the Ramadan, this is going to be our time, just so you know. Honestly, this morning we are expecting Councillor Jerome J. Verdier, the former TRC chairman, to come and give us his perspective on the TRC implementation advocacies and other trending critical national issues in Liberia. However, he's not yet in, so we're going to be hanging around discussing other issues. As you are aware, every single day, by the minute, by the hour, Liberia is having a new episode under President George Mane Weah Senior. You know, we don't know when the other music will be dropped. Probably any movement from now, because we're moving towards the middle of the year. So I think he's going a little bit slow right now. Maybe because other people talk about it. That's why. However, I listened to the Spoon people yesterday, and I also listened to the pathology, local-based pathology, Dr. Benedict Koijee. Yeah, I think that is his name. The president announced new, let me call it, second opinion. And according to media report, the family have accepted to participate in that. So we are expecting that. But I don't see it to be any good intention, because this government have a history of not taking anything serious, especially President Weah. When people are being killed, auditors are getting missing, and the president come on and said that boyfriend and girlfriend story, and Liberian people want to turn around or close their eyes and open it, then he come back to say, you know what, everybody need to be their own security by getting their own CCTV cameras. But the contradiction is, where Princess body was found, according to media report, there is a CCTV cameras over there. Why the police people didn't utilize that? I mean, crime scene is very important in any investigatory process or processes, even before the pathology can conduct the cause of death. Why they didn't look into that? Did they search the cell phone very well? Did they interview? I mean, that is a police aspect. We understand the police spokesman came out earlier and they said there was no foul play. However, have they gone through everything they're supposed to go through based on their training? So we wait for the second opinion, but I mean, the government does not have a good record when it comes to investigating suspicious and illegal death from the inception of their governance process. Equally so, they do not have a good record when it comes to anti-corruption. They don't. Number 3, they do not have a good record when it comes to budgetary preparation, allotment, and execution. So I can go on and on. When you talk about protocol, you saw what I did with Dr. Sawyer program, right? Relevant people, names were not even put on protocol. They misstated the late Alhaji Kromai, protocol document that they prepared. But sometimes it is the way it is. So Liberian people, I hope they are thinking and they are watching, because 2023 is right around the corner. This group of Liberians, government officials under Judge we need to change all of them come 2023. We need to change all of them. The only way you're not going to do that except you decide to live in further abject poverty and be killed with no investigation. Okay? I don't think we should even be talking about investigation. We should be talking about preventing illegal death and for the government to provide proper security and protection for the people. Because that is the oath that the president took and the rest of the people. It'll be back to you.
For me, coming here. Okay. For me, the point of it, this thing is that I have said that for our government, they are not serious for one bit. Josh Manawia is cleverly doing this because of the elections come 2023. Josh Manawia want to satisfy the family. When the family, you want to satisfy someone, family who have lost one of their own. That is what Josh Manawia want to do. And for me, this is not a surprise to me. The reason why I say this is that for the fact that the princess would die and the police went there to pick up the man who princess went to, but George had that information. The police went there to go pick up the managing director for that place. The police went there. How can the police will manage to know that there was somebody lying out on the floor? They passed by her, jumped over her, and escorted the guy to the airport. The reason why the police spokesman have been suspended today is because of some of those things. I strongly believe Josh Manawia, if he really serious, he should dismiss the police director. Dismiss him without pay. Because the facts were right in their palm. The facts were right in their hands. Blood stain is on the wall. What causes for the blood stain to be on the wall? Have you done a forensic investigation? Have you done a forensic investigation? Oh no. But they put on a report that princess went to the hospital March 20. That was on
I listened to the pathology yesterday.
That was on the report. But they are not, this Ghana, something wrong with their mind. Something wrong with the police of our land. Something wrong with their brain. The Ghana, they are not calculating. The police, they are not carrying on the job.
that they're supposed to do. We are here, we are the one that providing information for the police. Instead of them providing protection and information for the vast majority of the peasant, vast majority of the populations, they are there taking bribery. They are there taking bribes. Instead of the police being there to protect our citizens, they are there looping, going in corners, taking bribes. All right. They get you escorted the managing director, but there is a CCTV in the building. What wrong with that CCTV? What wrong with that CCTV that CCTV could not be recovered, or that CCTV that you could not go to the Temple of Justice to ask Temple of Justice for them to be able to give you a release for you to go arrest all necessary things that have to do with recording in a building. The police never did that. They call law. The caller could be another fact findings. The caller. All right. The police, the security guard that was on guard that same evening when Princess went there. What wrong with them? What wrong with them? Because you could not enter into that building when you cannot state who you came to, because they have security around that building. You must have, Princess must have, I told them, I came to the general manager. The security will check to make sure that you are the one that the general manager is expecting. But the Ghana never did that. The Ghana never carried on the investigation for the well. Then the pathologists, the book of pathologists, I don't know what kind of man is that. He said that Princess died from coughing, from tuberculosis. Is that how when you have tuberculosis, is that how you can be vomiting with blood? Vomiting with blood is quite different from blood coming from out of your throat or out of your mouth when you have tuberculosis. TB, when you just Google tuberculosis don't kill people like the way Princess died. So Princess never had tuberculosis when she went there. All of a sudden, they found Princess dead, lying down. Then the Ghana said that Princess had tuberculosis. and that doctor, that I don't know why he stayed there, sir. I don't know what I got stay there. Then he tried him brave to be standing there and be throwing challenge to the public.
Yeah, the man said he believed in what he studied.
Let the guy leave my foot, man. Why you can't believe in what he studied?
He is a medical doctor. He was already a medical doctor before he decided to specialize in
let that guy get a breathe. Let that guy get a air. Let that guy give a chance.
We're waiting for Judge. We are on.
Let that guy give a chance. What kind of part? So say one time that had TB, tuberculosis can kill somebody. Tuberculosis can kill you when you vomiting with blood. And now that blood coming from your throat like you coughing with blood. But you vomiting with blood is quite different from when you coughing with blood. Coughing with blood is quite different from when you vomiting. When you vomiting with blood, it's quite different. Let that guy give her a break. Let that guy give her a chance. What are you talking about? Is that a way to go to Sanfun and Blanfun the populations? Is that a way to Blanfun our Liberian populations? Is that a way? Is that a way to Blanfun our populations? Let that guy go do more study. The guy, he has done a forensic. There is difference between pathologists and forensics. When you do forensic science, it's quite different. That forensic scientists can be able to find out about the cause of the death, about what happened, about what was the cause. Let that guy get a break, man. Let that guy get a break. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Also, so the people, the police fail to do their work, so that you don't want cleaner to come do their work. The first place that the man said that Princess went to the hospital to go to TB treatment March 20. What kind of blandfulness is that? Is that man ready to himself? Is he ready to himself? You look at the populations, and then you try to challenge. That man was for a Mumfufu behavior. He was for a Mumfufu behavior, throwing on challenge to the populations. That he challenged the population, that the report that he say, the president will be graphic, and all kinds of nonsense. Complete nonsense. Complete nonsense. Back to you, man, Francis. Back to you.
AB, our fundamental problem is not that people are not educated. Some people are actually educated. Even the police force, they are some of my comrades I went to school with. We sat in the same class. They are smart people. They are very, very smart people in the police force, especially those guys that were trained by the United Nations. But our major problem in Liberia is the issue of lack of integrity and the issue of partisan culture. Partisan culture. We are not accepting call right now, my friend. The issue of partisan culture is a big problem. You see, for example, in America, federal judges are appointed by the president, but the president has no opportunity to dismiss them at any time. They are appointed for life or as long as their brain capacity can function. And even though they are appointed, but before you can even go through the United States Senate and be confirmed, you got to know what's up. So at state level, majority of including the sheriff department, the sheriff is elected. Okay? The county prosecutor, the district attorneys, they are all elected AB. To let go the issue of partisans. Even though they are elected, but nobody above the law. When you breach the ethics, the media pick it up, you better resign. The former Israeli Prime Minister just got free from jail. He served his term. He was interviewed by Minnesota Public Radio, NPR. Yesterday I listened to that man. He said he didn't commit a crime, but they cook him up with ruling. You have to accept it and live with it. When are we going to arrest our president after power, or even when they are in power because they committed a crime? And the Constitution is clear. Breach of the peace and robbery. That's no more something in Liberia. So the only way our situation is going to be addressed is based on our history, our culture, as a people, as a country. Until we can have somebody who will go to that executive marshal and say enough is enough. For example, look at Patrick Sulu, for example. You think Patrick Sulu is going to do anything that will undermine just we are government? No. He's not going to do it. Look at the Chief Justice, for example. Look at what he did with Cabinet Janet issue. At the level of the Supreme Court, it's kind of almost the same, but our people are so poor. So the president can create an environment and build a kangaroo's kind of court in the chamber of the legislature and get them money and just do what he or she wanted to do. Like we saw it with Kabina Johnny prosecution.
Yeah, but
no, AB, let me finish, please. Let me finish. All the thing we're talking here is not just that the police don't have the necessary equipment and the necessary training.
Why they cannot exercise on that?
It is because of partisan policing. It is because of partisan policing. AB, for God in heaven's sake.
So it is partisan policing that call patrol men to escort the person that done the killing?
Yes. Yes. That is why it is. That is why it is. AB, nobody need to tell the justice minister, the highest ranking officer when it comes to law enforcement. They know the law. Especially Musa Dean. Musa Dean children right here. That makes that regular resident right here in America. You didn't know that? Moreover, Musa Dean was in the human rights environment for over 30 years.
I know all of that.
Justice minister.
I know all of that.
AB, I'm a police officer. I do no criminal justice, but just out of common sense. Crime scene. We all see it right here in America. Crime scene. Okay?
Why
that's
you relating
that
to,
when the
to,
people
to
get
America?
there, give me chance, let me finish. When the police officers get to the crime scene, the first thing they do, they secure the spot. What did they do? One of the most valuable things that they collected was a cell phone. What did they do with the cell phone? They give it to the boyfriend. And later on follow the boyfriend to get a cell phone to look inside. Have they gone to court for the court to give them paperwork, for the court to empower them to be able to search that building, that business center, including the cameras? Because the president said everybody should get CCTV cameras for their own protection.
So that because of partisan,
sampling.
That because of partisan business that they never done their job. That because of partisan or because of money.
AB, everything part of it. Everything part of it. Our legislature are the only one that have the constitutional authority to remove the president of the Republic of Liberia. If they can take money to do their job, we saw it. The last time Malian Jaliba said that our God beating and so, that their own God beating and so. What happened to Eddie Johnson City, Meta Steel, Toyota Halo pickups? They gave it to them. They received money to remove their own speaker, Speaker Edwin Snow. They received money to remove their own speaker, Speaker Tyler. They received money to prosecute and convict Kabina Janet. Who gave that money? The executive offered them money.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, but equally so it is because of the money. It is. I am not looking at the partisan side of the things. I am looking at the police director was appointed by the president for him to be able to do a piece of job. For him to be able to do the piece of job, to protect life and property. That was the reason why he was appointed for.
Let me ask a simple question.
So if you have men who are taking bribe, who are taking call from Josh Hada and telling them that they'll go there to go carry men to the airport, and who refuse to go to court for the court to be able to give them the order for them to go to arrest the CC camera, to arrest any other material that is in a building that is recording, to be able to carry on the forensic investigations.
Who tell you that our police does not have lab? When army equip the lab of our police. So are you telling me that now the police are not able to forensically investigate who killed or what was the cause of Princess' death?
Maybe you already agree with me. I just told you and our audience, it is not that the police is not super equipped to do simple job like blood sampling. They are equipped to do that. But why they're not doing it? Who is the immediate boss of the police director? It's the justice minister. Students got brutalized on campus, broad daylight. The justice minister said nothing worth reporting. Why? Because a senior partisan of the CDC is involved. Who? Jefferson Koijee. Jefferson Koijee. Are we aware of any investigation or any committee or any commission set up to investigate the incident on the university campus during the remains of Emosoyo, I don't know how to call it, program? Do we? No, we don't. Jefferson Koijee going to Lofa County, they assign AFL to him. Jefferson Koijee is a mayor of the entire country, not just Morovia. Jefferson Koijee has his own militants assigned to him as City Hall.
I don't.
Is that how it's supposed to be?
I don't like to discuss Jefferson Koijee because he does not know. Because Jefferson Koijee does not know his right from his wrong.
He do.
No. Jefferson Koijee does not even know what Morovia stopped. The man does not even know what Morovia starts and what Morovia ends. Where Morovia starts and where Morovia ends, the man does not even know. The man can go to Pinsway to be acting and cleaning there. And to say that he named Pinsway City Mayor. The man who does not know, the man who called in 17 continents. The man who looking at the camera to say there are 17 continents. That doesn't mean I want to take seriously for me to come to discuss. No.
AB, let me tell you something. In every political environment, every era of any government, there are major actors. I don't really care whether they made something or they didn't make something. But what I care about, it is the behavior they carry on and the negative impact that behavior has on our country. Whether he call it 7 continents, he call it 2 continents, he call it that way, he know the city boundary, he doesn't know the city boundary. Jefferson Koijee is a serious political actor today in our country. The same thing doing early time. Ellen Justice said son, Robert said he was prime minister. Rob was prime minister. Everywhere Rob went, nobody could say anything to him. He was above the law. He was above the law. The same thing doing Charles Taylor time. Chucky Taylor went everywhere he was above the law. Benjamin Yenten CK was above the law. Demon forces were above the law, but their mini goal was Chucky Taylor. Only Chucky Taylor could discipline them. This is how the thing has been. It is wrong. We don't see that yet. The president of the United States, a sitting president, Donald J. Trump, campaign was investigated by the very attorney general that he appointed. And guess what? At the Department of Justice, something they call ethics. Jeff Sessions could not even preside over Donald Trump campaign investigation. His deputy had to preside because he recused himself. And the reason was simple, because of ethics. This man, when he was senator, he was on the Armed Forces Committee and other committee that has intelligent nature. Number one. Number two, he was member of the nuclear campaign team of Donald Trump. Traditionally, majority of American presidents will not even appoint that kind of person to go to the Department of Justice. The reason is just simple. The Department of Justice should not be a partisan Department of Justice. Okay, that is what the people do here. But we in Liberia, we don't do that.
I think Jeff Koijee just deserve to just get his butt to school and be able to just sit down so he can be able to learn.
Jeff Koijee is not going to no school. Jeff Koijee is doing what he wants to do and what the president wants him to do, and that is all about it. We Liberian taxpayers, we pay Jeff Koijee and the rest of the people. Even though he comes to Washington, D.C., he got nothing to offer, but we pay his way to come there. That's a fact, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fact. That's a fact about it. But what I'm saying here is that Jeff Koijee should not be looked at with discussing some other life. We should be looking at the justice minister. We should be looking at the police director. Not even his subordinates. Not even the subordinate of those police officers. No. We should be looking at the director of the police. When I was to say Josh Mana, we are could but now the police director is supposed to be fired.
He's not going to be fired. Have he fired the election commission chairperson? LACC indicted her.
But that's the same thing that we're talking.
Oh, okay.
That's the same thing that we're talking.
Why he fired the finance minister here? After 25 million naira map up got missing. They say no money got missing. But who came more with that money missing business? It was their own justice minister anyway. Have you fired him?
And that's some of the reason why this talk show is here. Because we will discover some of the things that people have forgotten about. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it because we ourselves, we have place. We have a saying into our country. Not because some of us here. But Liberia have just turned to a place. Instead of a country, no decent president. No decent president of the 21st century that I'm looking at will behave like the way Josh Mana we are, and he crumbs eaters. He crumbs eater behave. Nowhere. Not even in Africa. Anyway.
Let me tell you something. Our country got serious problem.
Say that place gets serious problem.
I gotta use what I gotta use. I come from the international relations background. You use what you want to use. Liberia still remains a sovereign country. I totally agree with that. Okay, you can call it a place, you can call it whatever you want to call it. But Liberia is a country, and I'm motivated, and I'm hopeful that it's gonna be better one day.
Okay.
Rome was not built in one day.
But the beginning of Rome, the beginning of Rome was not. The beginning of Rome was not as catastrophic as our country is.
I agree with you.
Liberia is the only country that when you get in a plane, when you transit in other country, as soon as you reach to Liberia, you can know just from the airport that you are in Liberia, because the way of our people, the way of them behaving, the way of the people that even walking to the airport, their behavior towards their passengers, that alone can tell you that you are in Liberia. To a place wherein the bus also take you from the plane to bring you to the terminal. People walking. That is to tell you that you have entered in a place instead of a country. I'm telling you. Liberia is, look, when you get out for the plane, you can know that you are in Liberia. Anyway, go ahead.
AB, Liberia used to be a one-party system for over 100 years. Today, it's a multi-party system.
I agree with you.
Regardless of the way it is messed up, it's still a multi-party system. People are competing politically and democratically. Prior to the war, we had so many of our neighbors in Liberia. We had Indian people teaching at University of Liberia, Ghanaians, Nigerians, Kenyans, and you name it. The last 30 years or more, the progress we had that was not already enough has denigrated into where we find ourselves. And I'm very positive that in as much as our country is the way it is because of bad governance, I'm hopeful that it's going to get better. And the reason it's going to get better is because we continue to engage the government actors. They are not listening 100% to follow, but you know why? We are making steady progress. Even though the progress is kind of disaster, but we are still making steady progress. We will get there. We will get there. And that is the reasons why nobody in their right mind should sit anywhere or in any corner to get afraid of their own country.
After 200 and some more years.
It can even be 300 years. Even when we are no longer around you, maybe we're gone. Our children will come, they will say, this is what our parents did, and we pick up from there. My brother, sometimes people don't agree with us or they don't agree with me, but let me tell you something. There is no way a foundation that was built on deception, on hatred, on greed, and you name the rest, is going to get better overnight. Even in the midst of this activism or advocacies, I am fully aware, and I'm very positive other people are fully aware, that it's not going to just be one day story. It's going to be multiple day story.
We all know that.
What we can do, we have to consistently engage folks that we surround our political rights to let them know we have not forgotten, and to remind them that, hey, you can do whatever you want to do, but we're going to come after you. And coming after them is not the way the other people did it. We're going to continue to restrain our emotions and our political bazooka. To use a John Locke theory, we gave you specified time frame. We're going to wait for that time and go to the ballot box. If you can remember AB, out of the 15 senators, only 2 succeeded to return to the capital. You know that. 2017. Okay? And you know who all returned. Out of the 74 representatives, if I'm not mistaken, about 75% did not return to the capital because of what they did, their achievement. So the people paid them off. But you know what? We need to continue to conscientize our people politically, political consciousness. For them to continue to pull out a vote, it's going to change. When we go to election 2023 and remove almost all of them, if not all of them, but at least 95 to 98% of them, we are making progress. Even beating CDC in Monserrado County 2 times, that's a progress. That's a progress. Tremendous progress. The law and the opposition were not fighting Thomas Falah. They fought the president, his party, and the government, and will beat them. I know CPP is in limo. I understand that. But that is also part of the democratic principles, where people got multiplicities of ideas. It could be good, it could be bad. The only fundamental problem I got with some of the participants of the CPP, especially the ANC group, is coming not to come with logical and strategic debates when it comes to the issue. And they try to attack personality because they don't like them. That's the only problem I got. But let me tell you something. You and I can sit on this platform for the next 2-3 hours. I will give you every single reason in our audience why we should be here.
Okay.
Hopefully, they are getting there now. Yesterday, I monitored them. They were civil.
Mohamed S. Kamara is asking, I mean, what have I done? You know. So let me tell you, Mohamed, what I have done. I'm responsible. This platform is responsible for us. We're sending 10 children to school. This platform sending 10 children to school. Do you think that the money coming from you, or do you think the money is coming from both of us, me and my co-host, for us to be able to sponsor those children whose mother and their father then died during the Ebola crisis? All right? You ask me, what have I done for my dad or my mom? You don't want to know that. You don't want to know that. Anyway, you are some of the you are some of the nonsensical partisan of the CDC. That's the reason why you're talking like that, because you don't know me. You don't know what I've been doing. You don't know.
Yeah,
you don't know what I've been doing, right?
You may want to know. That's why you ask.
Nonsense.
Let me tell you something. There is a big saying in America, right? That say that do not ask what your country can do for you, but what can you do for your country? That's a quotation from John F. Kennedy. If my country cannot even provide me security protection, peace, clean water, electricity for almost 20 years, then I pay taxes to them to get paid. Then what you want me to do? Let me take this. Oh, the person gone. So just to alert to, I can't even respond to those kind of things. Even what I'm doing, that contribution, let him go do it on. I can't even respond to those kind of questions. I just let it slide.
Keep a call coming out on 215.
John F. Kennedy scenario does not work in our country. We get talented Liberian children and adults in Liberia. Even those that struggle to get scholarship through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in consultation with Ministry of Education and go to China and go to other parts of the world, they return home. What do they do for them? Do they allow them to use their talents, Mohammed? That's a question to you. Do the government allow them to use their education to improve our country in the specific sector? I work at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We offer people scholarship. I'm saying we in the collective fund as a government, as a people. People go to China, spend 10 years, they return, they are office boy. Or maybe special assistant. How can somebody have a master's degree, they are special assistant to assistant minister or deputy minister? Does that make sense to you, Mohammed? Then you're asking me what am I doing for my country? I'm doing a great stuff for my country. I am doing a great stuff for my country. Forget about my family. I got property in Morovia. Okay, we got a caller here. Let me answer.
Okay.
Good morning, caller. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Hey, my name is Stanley. I'm calling from Iowa.
All right, Stanley, increase your volume a little bit so my host can hear you in studio, okay? Please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay, well, I just want to speak on the last comment that Brother AB made about somebody asking what has he contributed to Liberia. I mean, just the amount of information you get on the show alone tells you that's his contribution, you know? Educating you on what's going on. If he didn't care about the country, I'm pretty sure he would not build this platform where he's, you know, bringing out information that you yourself don't even know. So I think that's his contribution, even if he's not handing out money or bag of rice to people. The information alone should mean a lot to you as well. And going back to the pathology that said that the girl had died from TB, I mean, it's the sickness that he called is not something that, you know, that you can't trace down to people that she came in contact with. Did she really die from TB? Check her boyfriend. Confirm if he got TB too, because I'm pretty sure you can contract that just by being close range with certain people that has it. And yeah, they're kissing 24/7. I'm pretty sure they're having like they're kissing, doing this, and he's all in her face, doing it together all the time. So if she really died from TB, just testing people that was really close to her as well to see if that's really true. And if they're not tested positive on that, we can deny that claim, even though nobody believes that. But that's another way to really prove that so-called guy that did the autopsy wrong as well, by just testing people that were nearby, that was very close to her, especially the boyfriend. If he's not showing any signs and symptoms of having TB, then I don't know how she died from TB when especially at the level that she was coughing out blood. That means the boyfriend should by now have it too. I don't know if I'm making sense. So
of course you are making sense. And you know, just to add to what you have said, they asked the doctor yesterday whether he recommended any contact tracing. He said yes. Recommended contact tracing by National Health Institute, Public Health Institute. That is their job. Whether they are doing it now or not, we don't know.
We have another caller here.
All right, stand up. Thank you very much for your contribution. We appreciate it. Another caller is on. All right.
Caller, what is your name and where are you calling out from?
Thank you very much for your contribution. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Eddie?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Good morning to you. Good morning to Francis. Thank you for this program. My name is Pastor Mo, and I'm calling you for Ramsey. Driving on my way to work. I've been monitoring tonight, but I have a concern on your early morning topic on the function of the police and why is the police not doing their constitutional duty. Francis was right and 100% right. As I always say on the show, I worked with the Liberian National Police for 23 years. I was internationally trained by United Nations, and there was a standard that was given to the National Police. But Ellen government refused to go by that standard. The police, the United Nations never wanted the president to appoint the police director. The United Nations, what they signed is that the police director should come from among the ranks and file of those police officers. Judy went on the academy and went through the 1 year of police training at the Liberian National Police Training Academy. At that time, it was the United Nations Mission of Police Training Academy. I just want to read something for our many viewers, and this is what I want many of the Liberians to understand. And I'm reading from the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics, the International Association of Chiefs of Police. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you live.
Thank you. This is what the Law Enforcement
hold on.
Code of Ethics says. So I want you and Francis, if you have the time.
Good morning. Am I on?
Yeah, hold on. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Pastor Mo, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, this is what it says, and I will read the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics, and I will read the principle. I'm driving, so I hope you all can hear me. It says, as a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve the community. Hold on. I'm driving, but I try. It said my fundamental duty is to serve the community and to safeguard life and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against the oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder. I continue, and to respect the constitutional rights of all to liberty and equality. I read the principle with no compromise for crimes, and with relentlessness prosecution of criminals. I will enforce the law continuously. Hold on. I'm trying to focus at the sinner, and appropriately.
Be careful.
Without fear, favor, or malice, or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuity. So it tells us that, and this is an international standard for all police, every police officer around the world swore to this oath, not only in Liberia. The police in Sri Lanka, and the police in Philippines, and the police in America, they don't function on a different, except people have their own attitude. That is why you see in America that we live in, the executive don't interfere with the branch of judiciary. They don't interfere with the government, with the police. So when United Nations put their proposal in that the police director should not be appointed by the president kicked against it. Why? Because the president by then, who was Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, had her own motive. So now, it turns out that whosoever the president appoints, they work at the will and pleasure of the president of the Republic of Liberia. So whatsoever decision the police director is making, he's making those decisions based on his every day-to-day briefing to the president, and the president tell him what to do.
Thank you.
What am I saying? Just before I leave, please, as I always said on your show, there was a crime that was committed in Loking Town, and I was assigned at the police depot in Loking Town. I was called. They said there was a robbery. I was off that night. Being a chief of operation, I had to call the depot. I went and I was able to organize them to proceed on the crime scene. When we were able to maneuver and we got to the house, when we got to the home of this victim, we got to know that the perpetrator have escaped the scene, have escaped the scene. What did I do? I had to talk to the person that was in the house to let us in. He managed to open the door. When we got in, the bishop was murdered. The bishop was murdered. And I told the officer that walked in the room with me to not touch anything. And as I walked through the room, saw this bishop lying in a pool of blood on his living room floor, I immediately called my boss that called me concerning the armed robbery. At that time, it was one Kefla Tapper who was the 102. At that time, the late Lemuel Reeves was the CID director. At that time, Stephen Zago was the deputy CID director. At that time, Simeon Frank was the chief investigator of the Liberian National Police. At that time, we had chief of crime against pricing, what we call homicide.
Pastor Moore, we having tons of people on the line, so you have to make it snappy and short. We having tons of callers on the line.
Just please give me 2 minutes. Let me conclude. Just 2 minutes, Andy, please. Thank you. So I immediately called them, and I told them this was not a robbery. This was an assassination attempt. I was told to protect the scene. I protected the scene. Within a space of 48 hours, the perpetrator that masterminded the murder of the bishop was arrested. What am I trying to say? The first responding officer on that scene of Princess had the constitutional duty to protect the crime scene, that everybody that was in that facility didn't have to leave. They have no right to escort anyone out. Thank you.
Thank you. We have another caller here. Caller, what is your name and where are you calling out from?
Good morning, AB. This is Mr. Lake calling from New Jersey.
Mr. Lake, go ahead.
Thank you very much today for this service lesson that you're giving the Liberian people. I don't know Mr. Koijee. Koijee could be a very good city mayor of that city there. But he don't know where his jurisdiction stops. People think when they say Monrovia, you just be running all over AB.
The man who doesn't know Monrovia, where Monrovia starts and where it ends.
You can't leave from Monrovia. You can't leave from Monrovia. You jump over Congo Town. Congo Town got city mayor. They used to have city mayor when I was there. Then you go to Prince Bay City. Prince Bay City is the largest city in Liberia. Then you go over there, you overshadow the city mayor of Prince Bay City. This is why getting higher call him Koijee Hatan. I mean, he could be a very good city mayor, young man, but he don't know even a job assignment. Your work as city mayor, it take you from West Point there to the end of Old Road, because Old Road share a common border with Congo Town. Congo Town share a common border with Prince Bay.
To the end of where they used to have NPP headquarters. That's where Monrovia ends.
The same thing with the policeman. When you in Zone 5, when you're investigating all the way in Zone 6. I mean, the way they do things like brother working getting a problem. Jefferson could rather be a good city mayor if he knew his job assignment. And if he don't understand it, he can go to Postal Affairs Department. I know they still have it there. Or he go to Lands and Mines and tell Postal, what is the city limit of Monrovia? They think that somebody living in Brewerville, they call you here, where you living? I live in Monrovia. No, you're not living in Monrovia. Don't be living in Ghana's way and call me here, you say you live in Monrovia. You're not living in Monrovia. They read letter to you from New Cruton and say, New Cruton, Monrovia, Liberia. No. You're not living in Monrovia.
You live in New Cruton.
So thank you for really providing this service lesson to the Liberian people. And that's why giving Jefferson Koijee hard time. You see, he don't understand his job assignment.
Jeff Koijee needs serious training. That man needs serious training.
Yeah. Because he see the open place over there, so he getting like he's sending mail for all the places. I seen someone interview, he go to real life, he hold a press conference there, they send a mail or Prince Bay standing behind him. When the woman who is the Senate mayor of Prince Bay supposed to be conducting an interview.
Is everybody succumb to him? Because when the man go, the man let to overtake, the man let to overshadow. So when he go to the place, he just let to overshadow everything. That's the man Jefferson Koijee is. Yeah.
I don't know him. I see him the way how everybody see we in the stage that we see him. He could be a very good city mayor, but he occupies himself with assignment that don't belong to him. Let him go to the legislature. Monrovia City was created by the act of legislation. All the documents are there, so he will know his boundary. But he don't know where his boundaries start, where it ends. He don't understand it. He just think that he said the mayor for Carwell. Huh? He think he said the mayor for New Cruton. He think he said the mayor for Brewerville. All those things giving him the ball hard time, man. He could be a good city mayor if he knew if he knew the city limit. Thank you very much, AB, for educating the Liberian people on this today. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, that's true. More people live in Nukuta. When they ask them, they say, "I live in Monrovia, Nukuta."
AB, you know what happened? I don't want to say I disagree with the caller, but let me tell you something. I got a book here. You see here? It's in Liberia. I think it's less than $200. Liberian civics. Many of our students ain't reading this book. Because the teachers are not teaching them it too. But they're on Facebook. And some of them go there just because other people go in there. They go sell better boy and they pay the teacher. And the teacher already went to school. So who are you doing it to? You're doing it to yourself. Yeah, in America it don't happen. So it's not just, this is not just for Jeff Koijee. My brother, there are people here, right here in America, born and raised in Liberia, the king. Some of them as early as 6 years. They're king the country here. They're on camera. They're on the platform, quote unquote, the biggest platform. They do not even understand the simplest grammatical rule that you cannot call me Mr. Francis. Francis is a common name. That's how I was taught. Elementary English. Anybody could be Francis, but anybody cannot be Duno. So you call me Mr. Duno. Okay? You can't call AB Mr. AB. You can't. That is against grammatical rules. Nukutan is a borrow. I hope we should not go to school here today. We should not provide study class here. Okay? Before you start asking me what is a borrow, okay, for the benefit of the platform, borough is a township that govern themselves. And they're supposed to have their own governor. Congotown is a township. It's not inside Morovia. The owner of the School of Christ, the last time I remember, old man Pepe, they call him, the children call him, Teacher Pepe. Teacher Pepe was disciplining people at his School of Christ. Teacher Pepe was the commissioner the last time that I got to know there was somebody there. They are there though. These people are part of the something we call municipal and chieftaincy leadership. Ghanaville is a township too. Forget about Pinsway. It's a city, but guess what? Somebody living inside Puebla, they call that place Morovia, Liberia. They got schools over there. Some of them community college or community colleges. The people put it on their letterhead, Morovia, Liberia. You want to hold Jeff Koijee responsible? If we were to go by policy, education, even people say Christmas Day is a holiday, New Year Day is a holiday. There are so many people do not know that holidays can only exist if there was an island legislation. House of Representatives and the Senate pass it into law and specify that particular day why. Before that holiday exists, Minister of Foreign Affairs by statute come up with something they call proclamation, and the president signed that alongside with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, specifying the importance of that day and why it should be observed. Just day before yesterday, I had a conversation with somebody, and I'm going to call you, and I'm not going to tell you where they are. And they were arguing with me that yesterday, Easter Monday, the holiday. I said, where's the statute? They said, you probably just arguing. You probably just arguing. But you know what? Sometimes we just let it go, AB. By the time you want to open your mouth, the person, you know too much book. You can ask a lawyer. So we just let it slide. People on Spoon Talk calling me Mr. Francis. I don't say nothing. That is their own limit. That is their own limit. And that why Adula Kendama got to walk away. They say he wants sabbatical leave. It is not sabbatical leave. Sometimes it is just way elementary that we say this thing. Sometimes you don't want to prove that you know plenty. Like people can already say, but you know what? That is the way it is. I did public administration at University of Liberia, minor, political science, major. They got something they call Enabling Act. Enabling Act, the Minister of Foreign Affairs was created as a result of Enabling Act. And that enabling act is legislation. And that enabling act will also tell you what is the purpose of the Minister of Foreign Affairs. For example, legions. Legions were created as a result of enabling act by law. What legions are supposed to do, their primary responsibility. There are a lot of assistant ministers were appointed when I working at Foreign Ministry. Whenever they went to Minister of Foreign Affairs, specifically Afro-Asian Affairs, they come to me. Because the enabling act is right there. Before you go to confirmation, you got to come and do that small research to prepare your own confirmation questionnaires. But how many Liberians know about this? Some people know it, but they don't talk about it. Some people don't know it, and they don't care to know it. And one of them is Jeff Koijee. And the reason Jeff Koijee behaving the way he's behaving is not because that's how everybody behaves. It is because of the presidential friendship, again, partisan. Mary Brown did the same thing. Mary Brown was Senate mayor, she was all over the place. Because what? At the time, and even now, Eddie Johnson said it friend. Best friend. She was special project director at the executive mansion. She was coming down on the ground floor of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, going in people draw to look whether they had a passport. That's disrespect. But did anybody talk? Even the Minister of Foreign, no, that pepper bush, you can't try it. In the first place, by law, under Article 56 of the Liberian 1986 Constitution, Senate mayors are not to be appointed. Why they stay appointing Senate mayors in the first place? They're supposed to be elected. The chiefs have to be elected. Since Samuel Kayando took office by way of the guns, Liberia have not experienced any municipal and chieftaincy elections. That's a fact. We'll check it out. So maybe sometime we need to come here and come up with a small thing.
Yeah.
That we don't want to go to school doing the war, okay? In Lofa County. Okay? When NPFL came and met us there, we passed around the corner. They use us to carry their load from one village to another village. Okay? We survived. The BO, but we survived still. School closed. We go to Unimbo K, Unimbo J King, we run away again. Then they slow down, they finish eating all the chicken, they say they can't eat sheep, they clear it, then we come back on show. Then slowly school open, then we go back there. Our own education, the wartime education. But you know why? We were already big, above our own class limit. So we were there with our everything. We don't know it all, but you know what? We learned something. AB, when you miss one subject, you fail, you break rule that your makeup fees there. You go break rule for the teacher. Then the teacher give you that makeup, you take it and pass. Multiplication, addition, and all that, before test, before quiz, you and your friend and you and your classmate, you will clear it. You miss it, they do your tongue like this, they pull it there. Yeah. You know, the American people ain't get no culture. Some of our people that came, they say that abuse. I don't even get no attention. I don't get no attention.
We'll talk about
training.
that. We'll talk about that.
We went through real training in Lofa before I came to Morovia. When I came to Morovia in 1997, the government had changed the school year to what we got now. In the name of summer, when we get summer reading season. Get it going. I went to ACFR. 16, 17 years in 5th grade. I do them back to back. Okay? So we learned during the war. Imagine we are not even, like, there was no war. Probably would be PhD by now. But there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people, AB. I don't disrespect anybody in this manner. There are a lot of our folks went to school. We saw them. My brother, when they open their mouth, he's scary. And some people have behind the issue of, mother tongue not be English. I agree. Me too. Me too. My mother, typical Bani woman, she doesn't speak English or whatsoever. My dad is Sinti. But you know what? We went to school. Sometimes it's good to read a little bit so that you get to understand it little by little. All of us made mistakes. I agree. But when I made mistakes, that's the reason I listen to myself. When the show over, I get small time, I put it on and listen to myself. So that all the areas I made mistakes, When I come back the next morning, I make sure I check the box. No one is infallible. But Jeff Koijee, I don't blame him. I don't blame Jeff Koijee. That is the way our system look like. Until we can fix it, but now we should not be saying, oh, we ain't get money, we ain't get this, but we're coming to give you 100,000. Why we can't conduct chieftaincy and municipal election across the country? Because what? Political issues. The presidents that have come and gone, including George we are there now, they do not want to do that. So opposition, who is not part of the CDC, win the election, it is against them. And I don't think that should be the primary concern. The primary concern should be competition and growth for each city in our country, each township in our country. And that is the fundamental reasons why Madam Sedi refused for the police to govern themselves.
Okay.
Because the president wants to control everybody, the resources, the money, everybody. The president wants to control them.
Okay.
And now, because of the interest of the country, but because their own interests, their children's interests, and their friends' interests. And that's why Liberia is the way it is. Until we can get rid of that, we're going to be the way we are, Mr. Francis.
Thank you, Mr. Duma. That how we'll let to come to the very, very end of this morning discussions. We have been coming to you live via Facebook, via YouTube, via Snapchat. We have 3 media outlets, so you can follow us all around. So once more, we'll be here on Friday. We'll be here on Friday for us, for someone to be able to drive us through the security sector of our country. Mr. Lawrence Yelu will be our guest. Mr. Lawrence Yelu have told me, Abraham, I will be there. I will be there and answer to your audience so they can come to learn new things. So those of you guys who are security minded, if you want to appear on the show as well, contact Francis, contact me, contact Francis and be able to talk to him so that you can be able to appear on our platforms, on the Liberian People platforms. Because the platform, it is not for me, it is not for Francis, it is for you that are watching us. So what must we do? Francis, back to you for your closing statement.
Okay. All right. Today going to be short, okay? I'm not going too much. I haven't forgotten, okay? KMC, we are yet, and don't forget, the numbers are 701-330-4693, 267-648-8012. Any people where you want to do about immigration, filing for your parents, your children, your wife or husband, visa application, affidavit of support, just name it. The only thing we are not able to do, we cannot go to court when you are on deportation. But besides that, any people you think about immigration, call those numbers. That's the commercial. Closing today. In the near future, I know sometimes we don't like it, we don't get a lot of people to follow, but they will hear the story. We will come here and do some civics. But those of us that had the opportunity to read the book we call in our public school in Liberia, IEL. You can Google it, maybe it will still be out there, I don't know. IEL. That's how we learn. John Doe and Blama Doe. We are the product of John Doe and Blama Doe. Some people don't even say where the man coming from. That's how we went to school before I came to Morovia, my people. Later on, you will not leave first grade if you can't read. It was so fabulous and amazing. And not only that we were learning how to read and write, but we also had a value. Your teacher can discipline you, my people. You come to America, you say that democracy, that abuse. Ain't no abuse. This is a different culture. If I start telling you American history today, that I didn't learn in school, but I'm able to look for it, because myself, I get children here, I'm teaching my children. You will wonder. The way the country started, what even happened that led to Second Amendment, where people can buy and own guns, you will get scary. So all come from Africa. We sort of train our children. We're not training them. We say that abuse, but they go to a school, they do something, they can punish them, they can meet them. They can't come outside for lunch. They will stay in that classroom. They misbehave further, they will send them home to you. But instead of you training them to be themselves, to have confidence in themselves, you won't do that. Say that abuse. And the children too, they got sense. They listen to you. So my people, let us start going to PTA meeting, because the school district responsible for our children education. What kind of curriculum they got? Nobody questioning that. We need to start to do a little more, because you know what? Even though we're advocating for Liberia, well, our children that are home here, they might go to Liberia if we get rid of them, but this is where they're going to stay. So we want to say, thank you plenty, my people, for joining us, for listening to us, taking your basic time, your valuable time, listening to us, and please share our podcasts. Okay? Go on YouTube and subscribe. Hossein Abraham Kamara. That's our YouTube icon. Go there and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, so by the time we hit the button, you also get notification. All right, my people. Again, thank you plenty. Thank you plenty for joining us. We are the Blamado and Konado. Okay? REL Book, Follow Public School, Bola Home Mission, ACFR, Pentecost. Baku is strong. Hey, my man.
So now I will let her leave you now. But tomorrow, don't forget, we have a very special guest tomorrow. He will be bringing a tete-a-tete discussion from the TRC Report. He has been confirmed and sealed. He will be here seated tomorrow.
Yeah.
He will be here. What must you do? I want to tell you bye-bye for now. See you when we see you. Tomorrow the same time, same place. See you when we see you. Bye-bye for now.